one of the things that we ought to remind ourselves well is that cyber doesn't exist in isolation. Cyber needs to be thought of in the context of all of the other national capabilities that we can bring to bear, and also that we need to think about how we are threatened in the context of what other capabilities people can bring to bear against us. What is the government role? First part of that question is, what is the government's role vis-a-vis the private sector? The thing that makes cybersecurity particularly challenging is that a large part of even the critical national infrastructure, quite apart from the economic drivers that actually relate quickly back to national security, are in the hands of the private sector. Over the last couple of years, the administration has been through a process led by NIST of consulting the private sector, at least in relation to how to protect the critical national infrastructure, and has developed a framework, and there's a debate to be had about how successful that is. But there's also a further debate, I would argue, in relation to how successful that will be in the future, particularly when we get into more convergence with the physical side, so the so-called Internet of Things. And then the second set of questions is how the government organises itself. We have this idea that the Department of Homeland Security has the lead for cyber. That may be a false thought, when the real dichotomy is between defence and law enforcement. So what is the proper role for the various different departments? What is the military role? I think I've in the past argued that we risk over-militarising our response. Various reasons that does not necessarily make sense. Thirdly, what's the relationship between the intelligence community and the military? Cybersecurity is an increasingly important part of how we do our national business, whether it makes sense to have our National Signals Intelligence Organisation within the military, and whether it makes sense perhaps to have a national cyber capability sits in the centre of government and provides more holistic contribution.